I'm Bianca, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe and turn on your notifications so you can always see when I'm uploading. Today, Baxter and I are gonna show you around my studio and show you how I record and edit my covers because I've had a lot of requests for that. So yeah, I'm gonna show them, Becky? Yes. All right. Oh, he's not keen, I'll put him out. So I've just, okay, so Baxter was not keen on joining anymore. So I'm just gonna bring you in. I just moved up here, so it's not like 100% done, but I will show you anyway. So welcome to my studio room. So over here we have my main desk. This is where I do all my recording and writing and editing and everything like that. This is one of my recording corners. I'm sure you've seen it in my videos. Obviously I have my mic and the camera. And then here I have my old computer and my piano. And then this is of course my other backdrop and my sneaky little 100,000 subscriber plaque in the background, which is awesome. I just got that. So yeah, and then I just have a cupboard over here and a mirror for checking myself out. Oh, here he is. Come on in, Becky. This is Baxter's favorite spot. He enjoys sitting on the couch and watching me do work. Obviously it's quite clean and clear at the moment, but now I'm gonna bring in all my stuff so I can record because I'm gonna be doing a cover today. So let's get started and I'll run you through everything that I use. All right, so I have set everything up now and I will go through everything one by one. So let's start with the lighting. I have two of these LED lights on the sides just to illuminate the side of my head. And then I have a ring light around the camera so my face is nicely illuminated. I used to just work with natural light, but obviously that is unpredictable and can be annoying when it's like a cloudy day and the sun's going in and out of clouds. So I just got some cheap LED lights so I don't have to deal with that anymore. My microphone is an AKG K812. Let's look at that bad boy. Ooh, so pretty. Is gold. And this is a really good microphone for me. Microphones can be very personal. You want to make sure that the microphone you're buying will suit your voice. I used to have a Rode K2 and that didn't really suit my voice. It made it sound quite thin. So this one I found works really well with my voice. I have a pop filter here. If you don't know what that's for, it's to stop like peas and puffs of breath being really intense. My headphones, these are new courtesy of AKG. Thank you so much, guys. These are K812s. I was using Audio Technicas before, if you've seen them in my other videos. Let's move on to my camera. So this is actually not my camera, it's my brother's camera. This is a Canon 5D Mark II. And that is the lens. So if any of you are interested, this is the camera that I use. Again, like I said, it's my brother's, so I'm very lucky that I get to use his. But yeah, and what else can I say? So my mum's an artist and she made this painting of my dog Shady chasing a magpie for my birthday. Oh my gosh. Side note, I'm gonna show you her other one of Baxter because it's amazing. Guys, like look at this masterpiece. Look, and here he is. Here's the model. Like, what? Anyway, from my microphone, I run into my Duet USB. This is just a simple little mixer that goes into my computer. And then I record all my vocals into Logic because it's quick and easy to do that. So once I've recorded my vocals, I will then export them into Ableton and I do all my vocal processing there just because it's easier. I have a whole vocal chain on there that I just use every time. So I will go through that in a little voiceover thing and yeah, show you how I do all of that stuff. When I do my covers, I do them all in one take. So if I ever have backing vocals to do, I will make sure that I get one full take that I really like live and then I will just add backing vocals after. But yes, everything that I do in one take, which sometimes makes it really hard if it's a really difficult song or if it's a really new song that I've only literally heard that day. So it can sometimes take quite a few takes to get a full one, but that's why I use Logic because you can just do cycle recording. It makes it a little bit easier. And then I just obviously like press record on Logic and then press record on my camera. And then later on, I just sync them together, but I'll show you that later. So I'm about to record my cover, so I'll do that and then I will go through all the vocal processing and how I kind of put it all together in Final Cut and how I edit my Final Cut videos. So I will show you that now.
down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I shall die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take.
Alright guys, welcome to my Logic Pro session. This is where I usually record all of my covers and any audio that I'll be doing for a song that I've written. I like to record in here because it has this loop function. So if we look at this top track, this is actually where I recorded my main vocal. And you can see that there are several tracks down here. This means that I don't have to make a new track every time I want to record another round of the song. And I just copied that down here and flattened it. So my main vocal is this one here. Now above that main vocal I have the backing track that I use. I'll just give you a little listen to that. Boom. My boyfriend Mike actually made that for me. His music name is Kalide. I will link his stuff down below if you're interested in checking that out. He does a lot of future bass and progressive house stuff. So that's a little plug for the boo. So moving on from the backing track, I told you before this is my main vocal. And then I have a whole bunch of backing vocals. Now, like I said earlier, I like to record these after I've done my main vocal just so that I know what the timing will be and all that kind of thing. And if I do ad-libs or anything or slightly change the melody, then I'm not locked into what I've done for my backing vocals. So these were all recorded after. For every harmony or double, I do a right and a left. I like to do that because it makes the recording sound nice and full. Now, I record into here, but I don't do any of my vocal processing in here. So when it comes to putting it in Ableton, this will look a little bit different. I won't just have hard right and left on every channel. They'll be slightly different, but I'll show you that when we get to Ableton. I will say that when I record in, I use a thing called CLA. This is really good. If you're interested in getting more into recording, I would highly suggest this for vocals. It just has a whole bunch of settings here. So these are some compressors, this is a reverb, this is a delay, and then this kind of widens the sound of the vocal, I guess. So this can make your vocal sound a little bit more full if you want, and this obviously is like higher and lower amounts. Then depending on what your voice sounds like, you can play around with these things. My dog is barking in the background if you can hear that. That is Shady going nuts. So let's just have a quick listen to what all this sounds like.
Record of the wreckage in my life. I gotta recognize a weapon in my mind. They talk shit, but I love it every time. And I realize
I make sure that everything is centered and then at the same volume. So I'll go to wherever the highest volume is for the vocals and just make sure that nothing is peaking too much and just adjust this so that nothing goes over -6. Then I'll press File, Export, 10 tracks as audio files, and then I'll save that to where I want to save it. Then we go into Ableton and I will import all of my audio tracks into Ableton. And as you can see, I've cleaned them up. So I like to get rid of any dead space so that I don't have any random sounds. Then I group them. So I put my main vocal in with my doubles, and then I put all of my harmonies together. On my main vocal, as you can see, my friend Stalker made me a vocal chain quite a few years ago. So I usually just edit this to whatever I feel like sounds good. So as you can see, we have a little EQ here to get rid of any of the lows because my voice is not low, so I don't need that. It's just an unnecessary frequency that doesn't need to be there. The mids in my voice tend to be quite high, so I turn them down a little bit. And then we have a compressor. Guys, go onto YouTube and learn about compressors and things like that, and also just play around and see what works well with your voice. I then have CLA vocals and then a de-esser. Now this stops your S's from being really, really intense when you've put the compressors on. My settings on my CLA were like this, so if we just have a little listen.
I keep a record of the wreckage in my life.
Then on my group, channel, I have a saturator. I don't really use a lot of that. I have a tiny bit of overdrive on it. Sausage fattener, I used a little bit of this. This kind of helps to make it sound a little bit more gritty and extra. This is just literally another compressor. Multi-band dynamics, just to like chill out the high sections. Glue compressor, which I just have a little bit on. Another EQ, just to sort out and get a little bit more of those highs. This is turned off, so it's not even being used. A little bit of a vocal hold. This is a reverb, and then I also have an extra compressor at the end. So there's lots of compressors. It's probably overdone with the compressors. I think I need to go through it and just like properly sort out what I want and just clean it up a little bit. But wanted to just show you guys what is on my vocals at the moment and what I have been using. So this is what's been going on. And then the same thing is on the group down below, except usually on the backing vocals, I will put a little bit more of the vocal holes so that the backing vocals kind of fill out a little bit more. So like I said, I kind of spread it differently. On the higher harmony, I only have it 30% to the right and 30% to the left. And then on that middle harmony, I do then 40 and 40. And then the octave down, I have 50 right and 50 left. This just kind of gives you like a good little spread. Let me just play and see.
I keep a record of the wreckage in my life. I gotta recognize the weapon in my mind.
Then I'll just solo the main with the doubles so you can hear what that sounds like.
I keep a record of the wreckage in my life. I gotta recognize the weapon in my mind.
So I didn't want to overdo the yelling in the doubles, so I just did them in head voice so it sounded kind of full but not too hectic. And then those vocals together sound like this.
In my life, I gotta recognize a weapon in my mind.
For this recording in particular, because this is such an epic song, I wanted the vocals to sound a little bit more gritty. I didn't want them to be too clean and pretty. So all together, this ends up sounding like this.
I gotta recognize a weapon in my mind. They talk shit, but I love it every time.
Then you can just play around with the levels. I usually have the doubles pretty low and then the harmonies will be kind of a little bit louder. But yeah, just make sure that nothing is peaking. You'll be able to see on the master track when I play, it's not going into the red zone.
I gotta recognize a weapon in my mind. They talk.
So I'm trying to keep it under this line. So you just want to be wary of that. Make sure that nothing is too loud. Like this was probably getting a little bit hectic here when I recorded it. So I was lucky I didn't peak too bad in the audio, but that's just something to be wary of. If your waveforms are touching either end, then that's a problem and you need to turn your mic down. But luckily that didn't happen here. So then I will export and save it somewhere. We're going to go into Final Cut Pro, and this is my project. So I'm going to go through everything that I did. I've imported my camera footage and popped it in here. This is what it looked like before I added anything in. Wow. So this is what it originally looked like. The way that I edited this was I went to the color board and I made sure that my blacks were a little bit lower, my mids were a little bit lower, and my highlights were a little bit higher. Then I went to the saturation and boosted the lows because I wanted the wall to look a little bit more colorful. Put the mids down and the highlights up so that my hair was poppin'. And then I adjusted the colors like so. Boom. Such a difference. I then put on broadcast safe, and depending what the video looks like, I will adjust that. Then HDR tools tends to just kind of like chill out the peaks in the, so as you can see, it makes it not look quite as hectic. So, and then I just wanted to sharpen it a little bit. So that's all the effects that I put on my video. Then I have my little socials handle thing that I put on and my little intro.
I waited a while for a moment to say I don't owe you a goddamn thing.
And as you can see, the waveform is there. So if I zoom in, I can then align my song with this waveform. So that's what I've done here. This is the actual song with the backing track. And then all I've got to do is mute the camera so that I then...
I keep a record of the wreckage in my life. I gotta recognize a weapon in my...
So it's all nicely lined up. Then I just put on my little outro and export it, and then I am good to go. I hope this has helped some of you guys if you've been interested in recording but didn't really know where to start. Obviously you can do this with a lot less effort with literally just like a phone camera or whatever, but if you're trying to get a little bit more into it and get a slightly more professional sound, etc., then this might be something that you can try. If you guys have any other questions about my setup or need any other advice, please let me know in the comments below. Other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.